He's known as El Mago, or the Magician.
Again! Javy is unstoppable!
In his mid-20s, Javy Báez was a major league magic act. His exceptional athleticism, effortless execution, and fantastic feel for the game were the cards he dealt from his deck. And with back-to-back All-Star appearances, an MVP runner-up, and a Gold Glove, Báez had all the allurement of a supernatural superstar. Then, like many a magician before him, Báez just vanished. When the Detroit Tigers made a shocking surge to the postseason last year, Báez, their signature signee in what had turned out to be a regrettable free agent foray, was nowhere to be found. He had been inept, and then he had been injured, and the Tigers went on their wild, pitching chaos-fueled run to the division series without him. By the time this 2025 season began, Báez's struggles had been prolonged enough for him to not be seen as a key figure on this Tigers team. It seemed that if the Tigers were going to build off their own brand of magic from last year, it would be with Báez on the bench. But as it turns out, the Magician had another trick up his sleeve. Sent to center field to fill an unexpected need, Báez has been brilliant. His great glove has translated seamlessly to a new position, and his bat has helped power Detroit to one of the best records in baseball. For the first time in a long time, Javy Báez is providing that sense of surprise, delight, and pure joy to baseball fans again. Báez was a source of much upside and intrigue when the Chicago Cubs drafted him 9th overall in the 2011 MLB draft. He was just 18 years old and coming out of a Florida high school. But like Francisco Lindor, who was taken one pick ahead of him by Cleveland, Báez had moved to Florida from his native Puerto Rico, and the two teenage shortstops were ready to take the baseball world by storm. Whereas Lindor and his family had moved to the Orlando area so that he could be seen by more scouts, Báez's move to Jacksonville was so that his sister Noelle could get proper medical treatment for spina bifida. Javy could do amazing things on the baseball field, but it was his sister who amazed him. "We don't see her as someone who is different from us," he once said. "She's a miracle for us. She's a miracle in our lives." Báez didn't see reaching the big leagues as some miracle he was chasing. He saw it as his destiny, so much so that he got the MLB logo tattooed on the back of his neck. Think about how confident a young player must be to put such an intention in permanent ink. Think of how embarrassing it would be to wear the logo on your body if you never got to wear it on your uniform. But Javy Báez lived up to his talent and his tat. He broached the big leagues in August of 2014, manning second base for the Cubbies in an away affair in Colorado. And when he came to bat to lead off the top of the 12th with the game tied at 5, El Mago made Major League magic for the first time.
This is going to be long gone. Javy Báez, welcome to the big league. A go-ahead home run in right center to lead off inning number 12.
Báez became the first player since Miguel Cabrera in 2003 to hit an extra innings home run in his MLB debut. When he went deep twice more 2 days later and hit 5 homers in his first 14 games, it appeared a star was born. But this star had some aggressive tendencies that took some time to manage in the majors. Báez could provide extra base authority, but it came with a ton of swing and miss. He didn't make the big league club in spring training camp in 2015, and he was dealt an earth-shattering blow early in that season at AAA Iowa with the death of his sister at just 21 years old. A heartbroken Javy went back to work after a finger injury that year and hit his way back into the bigs. And though the strikeouts kept coming in his late season call-up, his 3-run home run in Game 4 of the NL Division Series helped seal the club's ticket to the NLCS. This is how it was with Javy. The strikeouts and the power surges came in equal measure, but his most timely and most historically meaningful surge of all came in the 2016 postseason. Before the playoffs began, Báez did not have a set position on the NL Central winning Cubs, but his defensive ability earned him a start at second base in the first game of the division series, and he won that game against the Giants with an 8th-inning home run.
And Báez sends it deep to left. Pagan is there at the wall, and it's in the basket.
Báez didn't leave the lineup after that, and in the 6-game NLCS against the Dodgers, he went off, batting .318 with 4 doubles, 5 RBI, and 2 stolen bases, while also making a series of terrific plays at the Keystone. This performance earned him co-MVP status in the LCS round with teammate John Lester.
For you, you have performed incredibly, and now what does it feel like tonight to stand up here and hold that trophy?
Amazing, amazing. Thank you guys.
Without Báez, the Cubs would not have ended the curse of the Billy Goat and ended a 108-year World Series drought. The following spring, Báez wowed us in a way that had really never been previously conceived, for he was responsible for the first tag, yes tag, to go viral. It came in the World Baseball Classic, when, representing Puerto Rico in a big game against the Dominican Republic, he received a throw from catcher Yadier Molina on a Nelson Cruz stolen base attempt and dropped a no-look tag on Cruz while celebrating the throw.
I mean, he starts pointing right now, and he's not even looking at the ball in the glove. It's just, he's very talented.
It was wonderful, it was wacky, it was one of a kind. It was also a window into the wizardry of young Javy Báez, who was perhaps the first player in the game's long history to call attention to the art of tagging. But as far as consistency at the plate was concerned, Báez had not even found his form yet. That would come in 2018. Báez was explosive that season. At 25 years old, he led the National League in RBI with 111, while posting career bests in homers with 34, steals with 21, batting average with a .290 mark, and an OPS with an .881 mark. He became just the third player in Cubs history with at least 30 homers and 20 steals in a season, joining Sammy Sosa and Hall of Famer Ryne Sandberg. For his efforts, he was not only a first-time All-Star and a Silver Slugger winner, but he finished second to the Brewers' Christian Yelich in the NL MVP voting. Báez shifted full-time to short the following season and was again an All-Star. He hit sparingly in the pandemic-shortened 2020 season, but won the Gold Glove for his work at short. And in 2021, there was more dark arts magic from Javy Báez, this time on the base paths, when he somehow turned a routine ground ball to third base into a run-scoring game of pickle with the Pirates.
So good. Oh my goodness! Wow! You gotta be kidding me! You've gotta be kidding me! They stole a run! You have gotta be kidding me! Javy Báez, El Mago indeed.
That is unbelievable.
That is incredible.
At the trade deadline that season, with the Cubs out of the running, Francisco Lindor pleaded with Mets management to bring Báez aboard. The price was steep to put those two Puerto Rican stars side by side in the middle of the Mets infield, as we've seen with Pete Crow Armstrong, the key prospect the Cubs acquired in that deal, breaking out here in 2025. But Báez gave the Mets a big boost down the stretch that season, with 9 homers and 9 doubles in 47 games. That put Báez on the doorstep of a proper free agent payday. The Tigers were desperate to accelerate their rebuild, so they gave Báez the best 29th birthday present he could ask for. A 6-year, $140 million contract that was the largest they had doled out to a free agent since the Prince Fielder deal a decade earlier.
I think we got a pretty good chance to make our World Series, and that's what we're here for.
Báez went into 2022 expected to be the fulcrum of a new era for the Tigers. Sadly, though, he was a free agent bust. From 2022 through 2024, he was one of the worst performing batters in the big leagues. The only players with a lower weighted runs created plus mark in that span were Tim Anderson, Nicky Lopez, and Miles Straw. The high chase, high aggression approach that could be charming when Báez would go on a heater was a major turnoff when the power production went away completely. One writer called Baez's deal with Detroit, quote, the worst contract in baseball and possibly the worst deal out of any player in North American sports. Ouch. In August of last year, a humbled Javy made his return to Wrigley. He was saluted for his role in the Cubs' 2016 clout, but his ceaseless struggles continued with a 4-strikeout nightmare of a game. After that series, Báez had surgery to address a hip injury that had affected him throughout his Tigers tenure, and Javy's absence aligned with the late-season run by the Tigers, the likes of which the game had rarely seen. Despite being 8 games under .500 in August, Detroit caught fire in the home stretch to seize their first playoff spot in a decade, then ousted the Astros in the wildcard series. Báez had to watch it all from afar, but it was a testament to how beloved he is as a teammate that when he visited his teammates in Cleveland during the division series, they cheered his presence. As Báez returned to play in 2025, it seemed his role on the Tigers would largely be a ceremonial one. They figured to tap into his defensive versatility and play him against some left-handed pitching, but his days as a lineup linchpin were over. Then spring training hit, and it hit the Tigers hard in center field. Their starter, Parker Meadows, had a nerve issue. His backup, Matt Vierling, had a shoulder issue. And their third stringer, Wencel Perez, had a back issue. The desperate Detroit team turned to Báez as a possible solution in center, and the early results have been, well, magical. For one, Báez has shined in center, such as when he robbed Jorge Soler of a home run at the wall, or when he dove into the gap to spark a double play against the Blue Jays. And Báez's bat has roared back to life for the Tigers. On May 13th against Boston, Javy hit 2 lead-changing, 3-run home runs, the second of which was a walk-off. The 32-year-old Báez is putting up his best offensive numbers since that 2018 to 2019 peak with the Cubs. Now, before we go touting him as an MVP candidate again, understand there are some sleights of hand going on here. The high strikeout and low walk percentages that have pervaded Báez's career and contributed to his undoing in Detroit aren't any different today than they were before. He's definitely benefited from some batted ball luck in 2025. But if anybody was due for a little bit of luck on the ball field, it was Javy Báez. And if anybody can keep up a magic act, it's El Mago, a player who can make tags, evade tags, and provide timely tagging of the ball with the best of them. The magician has reappeared, and it's nice to see his act again.